And welcome. Today I am delighted to have back on Matthew Lesko. Matthew is the two-time New York Times best-selling author of many of his free money books to help people to be able to find funding, as well as he's been touted as the infomercial king. If you've been around long enough as I have, Matthew has dominated the infomercial space, wearing his question mark suits, as he has one on right now. Very popular for that. But that didn't stop him. You know, he took it further than that. As far as you check on YouTube, he has a viral parody video of the Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, which is
you saw that? Wow.
which is still one of my favorite videos. So I'm happy to have you back on. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, boy. And last time I talked to you, you were, I think, in your garage, and now you're an international, syndicated talk show host. Terrific for you.
Yeah, and it's all about progress. And it's all about making ground. So, Matthew, you are really one of the leading experts when it comes to helping entrepreneurs. First you start off as an author. You've written almost a dozen books about taking advantage of government grants, taking advantage of alternative funding. Again, you're the expert on that, so I definitely want to get into that. You have a show, on your YouTube channel, and where you have segments and where you interview these various types of entrepreneurs and how they're seeing success as the world, as society is changing. So let's start with that, Matt. Let's talk about, maybe you give a background premise on how it's easier than ever to be an entrepreneur and have a successful business.
I bet. Yeah, I mean, I believe that sincerely. And I'm an old guy, 72 years old. So I was growing up in the 50s, and to start a business, man, you needed, in today's dollars, like $500,000 if you want to have a store. You got to get equipment, furnishing, and then floor plan financing to finance the stuff in the store, rent for 3 years, and all that kind of stuff. Man, now it takes 20 cents. And you have your own store, and you have your own store in the biggest mall in America, for nothing. And it's just phenomenal. And actually, what I think the motive for my work is that I see that most of us are a hell of a lot happier if we have more control of our life, and we feel that we have to have a job, that we don't like because our parents did that, and the grandparents did that, and all our friends are doing that. So we think that is the norm, and that's how to live. It's like eating broccoli, you have to eat it or something. And I hate broccoli.
Really? You hate broccoli? I happen to love broccoli.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, see, we're all different people.
Yeah. Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Oh, God, that's jail food to me, man.
I hate Brussels sprouts too. Great. So yeah, Matt, in this economy, it's really based on leverage. In the last episode, we talked about Airbnb how you stated that basically they make more money than most of the hotels nowadays. Right. And basically they have no real estate. They just simply leverage other people's real estate. So really we live in an economy of leverage. So it's not so much about, as you stated before, you have to have all this capital, or you have to have all of these different resources. It's just about being strategic and thinking a bit more creatively outside the box to be able to achieve the desired result as you wish.
No, absolutely, and that's, I think, the only thing that stops any of us from doing anything is us. We're just not investigating. All the help is out there to do anything. The problem is with us. We think there's something wrong with us, or we're not born right. We're not whatever. I mean, I have 50 reasons I could blame other people when I'm not succeeding. And that's easy to do, and it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. And then the other thing that deters us, I think, is Google. See, Google, I think, is probably the biggest obstacle for you for you to do anything in life. Because if you do Google, what you're finding is people who want to sell you something to help you do what you want to do. That's what it's all geared around. Somebody who has something, because they're going to make money off of you. But if you want to start a business and you start Googling for help, you're going to get all the people who can get money from you to start a business. When if you could know the system well enough to dig behind all that stuff and find the things directly, then it costs nothing. And what's important about that is that none of us know what works. I'm sure when you started this a year or two ago, whatever, you said, I'll go do this and I'll be an instant gazillionaire by next Thursday. We all have that feeling. And shit, it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, I agree. And so it starts with having realistic expectations. And as you said before, sometimes Google could be a detriment because people type in what they're interested in and they see all these search results and they learn about this and learn about that and they read all these different web pages, but essentially they're creating information overload. So now they have so much information that it kind of paralyzes them to be able to take action on the information that they're reading. For me, I keep things very simplified. For example, personally, I read one book at a time. I'm not a person who really, has a bunch of books. Try to read this book.
You probably only have one wife too, right?
I'm not married yet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hopefully one day, man. But I read one book at a time, and in a book that I'm reading, I study it intently. I treat that book as if it's a college course, because I really want to be able to grasp the concepts of the book. A lot of people, they just read books and, they finish it, they put it to the side, and they read the next book. But really, I'm a person, I take books as an opportunity to be a student, and I think that really helps. Instead of, we all do web searches on Google, but I don't make that my primary objective because, as you stated, I think that can be a distraction as that causes information overload. The last time we talked, Matt, it was March. It was March of last year. We discussed a lot in that episode. I definitely advise listeners to check out episode 1. That's when I interviewed Matt.
Episode 1? You mean I was the first one?
You was.
Wow!
Yeah, he was, and still today. Up to 41 episodes now. Still today.
Good for you.
You are one of the most favorite episodes that listen.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I told you before. I know you're a humble guy, but I think you're awesome.
Oh, we're all struggling, man. And that's the fun of life, to struggle. That's why, to me, what the stupid things that we grow up with or enforced on us from the media or our friends and family is that we want life easy, which is just the dumbest thing in the world, man. You want an easy life, then you might as well leave it, and commit suicide.
I agree. Yeah. Again. It goes back to having realistic expectations. So from the last interview, Matt, let's talk about some of the discoveries and some of the successes and some of the things you have been seeing in the entrepreneurial space that has excited you and has been really revolutionary now.
Well, 10 months ago, I'm excited about a whole new set of things already. Because the world changes, and what I really see, one of my biggest issues too is not only Google but experts. Experts tell you we're all looking for experts to get advice on what the heck to do, and they don't know. I don't know. You're calling me an expert. I don't know what the hell to do. I'm guessing every day of my life. I have no idea. I'm taking the best knowledge I can and try it. And I usually fail 9 out of 10 times. And actually, I'm reading a book now about there's this PhD researcher in Harvard did a study on all the findings that are reported in the best scientific journals in the world. 2/3 of them turn out to be wrong.
Yeah.
2/3. So these are the best experts in the world studying science, and that's wrong 2/3 of the time.
Yeah, it's interesting because studies are never complete. There's always going to be some measure of error found in any studies. And studies sometimes, we don't know the intent of the researcher. So some people try to be objective. Other people try to be biased, to create a certain result. So yeah, I'm not surprised, how they are wrong, because it's just like someone saying that, oh well, that idea is not possible, you can't do it. Yeah. Now that person may have, who knows, 10 years of experience, but at the same time, if they're not constantly staying up to date and being relevant and adjusting to the trends, then they don't know what's possible.
Well, so, not only that, they're not your customer then. Screw them.
Yeah, sure. And what really makes things happen is a person's tenacity, and that's what really helps people to be able to reach the finish line. But again, Matt, what has been some interesting entrepreneurs that you have seen in the last year? Like some business models that's really wild.
I mean, here's what it comes to mind. A couple of young guys in Columbus, Ohio. I thought this was genius. They wanted to start a restaurant. Okay, two guys just out of school. No money, nothing. Okay, wanted to start a restaurant. Okay. Again, a restaurant, that's, $500,000, $1 million. I mean, that's like old time real estate, all that kind of, they don't have that kind of money. What they did is they found a bar, that doesn't have much, they're not food, kind of things. And they don't do a whole lot of work at noon. So they made a deal with the bartender, said, hey, let us use your kitchen. We're going to run our restaurant from your bar just at lunchtime. And you can have all the liquor. Give us the food money, you take the liquor money, and so they got a plate. So it cost them really nothing. And they have the restaurant to see what and then they use that bar at lunchtime as a crowdfunding opportunity too. That's how they were crowdfunding for that week or month in the bar, so people would come in to the restaurant for lunch, love the stuff, not only contribute to the bar, they would contribute to their crowdfunding campaign, because this is great. I want this kind of restaurant in Columbus, So that's what it is. To me, that's what entrepreneuring is. How do you do things that are non-traditional? Sure, see, we all get experts tell you about what works traditionally, and you're starting out, you want to do something, and traditionally is for people with a lot of money, Yeah, for sure. So it's not, it goes back to the point that we stress. It's nothing more than leverage, Right. So for example, the bar obviously have hours that they're closed, and those entrepreneurs on the way, well, hey, since you're not using the bar during these certain hours, perhaps we can pay you some rent, and we can leverage that. Absolutely.
And be able to have our own restaurant operation. And hey, if you're friends with a bar owner, they may even let you do it for free. So it goes back to leverage.
Absolutely.
Leverage is the key in today's economy. It's not so much about capital. I mean, again, there are certain business models where you may need capital, but the majority of them, absolutely, if you just have leverage, that's going to take you a long way.
And I think capital, if you have money, that's bad, because the more money you have, you'll think that you could buy anything and it'll happen, and then it won't, and then you're out of money. Or if it does, you think money causes everything, and it doesn't. I mean, you have to have that's why I think the best time to start a business is in bad times, because if you could last in bad times, then you're going to really make gravy in good times. If you jump in when the good times are and you think that's what life is, it isn't. Life is up and down.
Yeah. That's a good point, Matt. And something I do want to stress. A lot of people, they talk about their passions, and I totally understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, when creating a product or when creating a service, I try to advise people to keep in mind whether your idea is recession-proof or not. Because sometimes there's trends in where, for example, the Great Recession that happened in 2008, 2009, there were a lot of businesses that they had to close shop because their product or their service was essential at that time. People were trying to pay their bills. People were trying to take care of their kids. For our art gallery wasn't typically appealing to someone who barely had enough money to take care of the kids. So I try to advise people to create a product or service that's recession proof. So, for example, like yourself, Matt, you wrote many excellent books as far as reference guides about how people can obtain funding. And when you look at that's particular niche as an author, Matt, for some people, when the economy is up, well, your books are still going to sell well. When the economy is down, your books are still going to sell well because people are looking for answers, and you are the perfect answer for them. Because essentially, whether the economy is up or down, they want to make more money, and your books that serve as reference guides give them that information. What do you think about the importance of that as far as kind of having a recession-proof business? Do you think it's really important, or do you think that someone can get successful?
Person. I mean, I don't. I mean, I wouldn't. First of all, no one knows what the future is. I mean, look, if you caught me 15 years ago, nobody buys reference books. I am out of business in traditional publishing reference books. I have to figure out, sure, people still need information, but not the way I figured out how to sell them. That doesn't work anymore. And so to me, the way you compensate for that or protect is resiliency. That's the key to everything, is being resilient. So if you're so fragile that, like a relationship, they squeeze the toothpaste in the middle, and you hate it and you're going to break up from that. Man, life is problems, And so if it's a recession, see, to me, a recession or anything bad makes you figure out how to do it differently and better. That's why, to me, I would plan not for recession proof, I would plan for something more meaningful to you, so no matter what the hell happens, you're going to figure it out. Like now, I mean, I believe in my stuff so much. Sure, I don't make a penny out of bookstores anymore, but I'll be here until I die trying to figure out how to get it to people, no matter what the hell the new world is. That the world is so changed. We don't know what a next recession is. I mean, it is so up in the air. And the only way to protect yourself against that is spending as little money as possible to do anything. So your flexibility, right now, you build a product, you don't have a big building and 1,000 employees, you have a website and freelancers on the internet, so things get
that's an interesting take, Matthew. I like the way how you detailed that. However, you say that you're out of business because reference guys, don't make no money anymore. My book, Reaching the Finish Line, I'm not sure, I think I told you about that the last time we talked. It's been very successful. It's been an international bestseller in 5 countries. But essentially, that book is probably no more than another reference guide. I mean, basically what talking in the book is how people can reach the finish line in careers, people who without a high school diploma, without a college degree, people who want to change their careers but don't want to go back to school. It's probably not as rigid, it probably doesn't have the rigid structure as your books have, but when it comes to the style, it's still essentially a reference book.
Yeah, no, I mean, information is information. Right?
Yeah,
it is a reference. Sure. It's not that the way it's purchased. I mean, are you in Barnes & Noble?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And then how many are you selling Barnes & Noble versus other places?
I don't have the exact statistics on Barnes & Nobles, but according to again, I've been a bestseller in five different countries, so I've sold thousands of books, so I'm definitely happy with that. But I think to come back around. What was I saying? Yeah, I think to come back around, a person like you, Matt, you will be. Let's say you put out another reference book. I think it will go back on the New York Times again because you already have a platform, you already have a brand, you already have likability. People like you. So
I got some ex-wives that have some other ideas about that.
and you're someone who's already seasoned. So I don't think it will be hard for you to be able to write another one and to sell pretty well as you did in the past.
I don't believe it. But would sell pretty well. I mean, selling millions I've sold,
Yeah.
And so it's all relative, but see, to me, what's not interesting, I mean, is the, industries that are shrinking, I mean, that to me is sort of like fighting for crumbs. I'm more interested in things that are growing, for the future, to learn something for my future, not to fight for something that the last part of it.
I see. Yeah. So will we ever see another book authored by Matthew Lesko?
Well, maybe not. I mean, now what I'm doing is video ebooks. See, I got a dozen video ebooks, and you can download them right now. So it is, reading phone numbers. So to me, you get the ebook, you get a chapter, me talking for a while, and then a chapter of something else, and all the sources are right there. You click on them and where to go and things like that. So that's why the technology makes it so different. And then, but how people buy it is the other thing. I mean, why Barnes & Noble is the last bookstore. I mean, most bookstores are going out of business. Newspapers are going out of business. People pay for that. So how people buy information is really we had 3 broadcasting systems and cable, and now everybody watches Netflix. And screw the cable companies. And so it is so different. So all that new stuff is growing, and that's fun. I want to be here 20, 30 more years, so I don't want to be learning to try to make work what I learned yesterday. I knew that. Don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right, Matt. And I'm quite sure eventually Barnes & Noble is going to be making its way out. I think it was 2014. They reported that their sales has been barely profitable. It hasn't been very high. A lot of people just use Barnes & Nobles now just to go buy a coffee and read a book in the store instead of buying them.
Those days are over.
Yeah,
and it's the same. Look at Walmart is closing stores.
Yeah,
and so I mean that's what my generation. I want to get in Walmart. These big distributors. Now it's niche. I mean you don't want to try to get a book in Walmart. That's a shrinking business, and there's only so many places you could get. But now I mean look at people like Esty. That's where you could start a business for 25 cents.
What is it called, Matt?
ETSY.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's it.
And Amazon has something, Amazon Homemade. See, now all you need is 100 customers, and that's it. See, I used to go out and try to get millions, because that was the way the distribution system was going up. Now nobody goes to the mall. I could go to Amazon, buy something, have it here tomorrow. I don't know, screw around the mall and have things that. The mall is not big enough to carry the stuff.
Yeah, and that's another key that we talked about. First key we talked about leverage. Second key, as you just described, is convenience. And customers, that's what they want. They want convenience, and it's best that the entrepreneur be able to give that to them. As you say, Amazon Homemade, Etsy, eBay. You have a lot of these different seller platforms that people can be able to utilize. It's very interesting because now when you look at it, because there's so many. I tell people there's so many ways a person could be an entrepreneur. They can look at they can come from it from a personality, like a personality perspective. Like for yourself, you're a personality. I mean, anyone. I would say anyone who's born from '87. I was born in '87. Or previous, they should know who you are. Because like I say, I've read your books, I've seen your commercials. Everyone knows who you are. Now maybe this generation, people born after 1990, 1994, they may not know who you are. Right. But you have the people, they have personalities. So people like yourself, or people, musicians, or authors, or filmmakers. Typically, they have one product that they try to utilize as their business, whether it's a book, whether it's a film, whether it's an album, or maybe whether it's a TV show. And then you have like traditional sales. And when you have, like talked before, Amazon, Etsy, things like that, then it goes much bigger on a startup scale, and where you're actually trying to create a product, trying to create a service. So there are so many ways to
absolutely
enter the entrepreneur market.
Well, I mean, since we last spoke, I think I did a TEDx talk. And if you go onto YouTube and put Lesko TEDx, you see that. And I talked to 17-year-olds on that talk. And it was trying to show people, because what I really believe in now is fun. Fun is the key to everything. Because if you're having fun, then you'll try hard enough. If you're having fun, you're not going to wait for retirement, to have a good life. If you're having fun, you're not going to wait for the payoff. I'm starting a business and going to make money in 5 years, so I'm going to do everything I can to wait for those 5 years. If you're having fun today, you already win. You don't have to wait for anything. So it works, and most things don't work anyway. So who the hell cares? You wake up and you start something else that you have fun with. Yeah,
for sure. And I think another key that we can talk about is the importance of mentorship. So for me as an author, I've always wanted to write a book. I procrastinated, for a while, but eventually, I did write the book. And you were definitely one of the inspirations that inspired me to write the book. So like yourself, Jack Canfield, Robert Kiyosaki. There's the other few guys in the space who I really looked up to as authors. I think mentorship does play a part. For me, I kind of have two types of mentors, and I'd be happy to get your take on this. The first mentor I call is virtual mentors. These are people I naturally can't get a hold of, but at the same time, I really, as I said before earlier, I study their books. I just don't read their books. I study their books so I can really grasp the concepts. And then also the other type of mentors I have is physical mentors, people I can actually build a tangible relationship with, and I can actually grow by taking in their wisdom. What do you think about mentorship, Matthew?
I don't know, whatever you need. I mean, you do what the hell you got to do to figure out how to get through, I mean, it's the objective. If you need a mentor, fine. If you don't, I find inspiration to look for opportunities and how I could take what I have. To me, a bigger problem in life is we get so much shit from the outside put on us that we don't dig enough from the inside. So it's a chicken and egg thing. And I think because school does that, everyone tells you what's to do. Mentors do that. This is an expert advice on what to do. Media does that. This is what you should do. And they're all fucking guessing. Nobody really knows. So that's why, to have a successful life, I think you really have to dig inside, because you're going to be guessing anyway.
Right.
And most of the stuff you do is going to work. So, but if you dig inside, then you'll get more out of that, no matter what happens.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Matt. I do think personal development is very pertinent. But what would you say, Matt? Like, for example, do you think it'll be do you think that there's a difference from an entrepreneur who has a mentor, who has been successful, and then an entrepreneur who has no mentor? Do you think there's a difference in a person's potential or a person's likelihood to be successful?
You and I can't say. Who the hell knows? I mean, nobody. I could go. I mean, I do research for a living. I can find you 5 guys and put them on my infomercial that did it without a mentor. I could find you 5 guys that did it with a mentor. That's why we're all so different. It's like everybody loves tall, dark girls with black hair.
Right.
To me, that's why digging inside is more important. You have to find out what works for you. This is why medicine doesn't work for everybody, and nothing doesn't work for everybody. It may or may not work. And that's why the things that have a better chance of working is what's good for you, not what worked for somebody else, not what somebody else tells you works for you. They don't know. They're not living your life. They don't know what to do. You're looking at me as a mentor and everything. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing today. I mean, what really works? I'm working like hell at it and having fun as hell, but I have no idea. And that's what works. I mean, if I knew it, then it'd be boring as hell. I'd have to, like playing basketball with a 5-year-old. Oh, I just shouldn't have won. And
I see.
And that's a stupid life. Yeah.
Right. it's a very refreshing perspective, Matt, and it's typically advice you don't hear from a lot of people. But
you know why you don't hear from it? Because anybody? Because you get paid a lot of money in this country. If I could convince you, I know the answer.
Right. No, it's true. It's very true. It's very true.
I can't charge a lot. You say, fuck, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, like I said, and that's why I've always admired you, Matt, because you're so raw, you're so uncut, and you just speak from the heart. And I definitely appreciate that. As we come to a close, Matt, what would be some resources that you could recommend aspiring or current entrepreneurs to help them move forward?
Your library. When was the last time you've been in the library?
Well, for me, wow. I guess.
Anyway, I mean, we have overlooked these people know all this stuff. They know how bad Google is. They know. They'll even help you. Like I'm raising money on eBay now, selling my X ? Suits, and I'm giving the money to local libraries to help people set up their own business in the library. You can go to libraries now. These librarians will set the one-on-one and show you how to start up a business on Etsy or anything like that.
Wow.
See, you're going to Google stuff like this. You're going to get some huckster who are going to charge you a whole lot of money to do that.
Right.
And you're looking for help with your credit cards or something like that. You Google, you're going to get 50 million websites of people want money from you. The librarian will show you nonprofit organizations in your area that will do that for free.
Right.
So that's what we're missing out, and these people are very technology oriented.
Right.
But we lose sight of it because whatever. You could call them, you could go online with them, and whatever. So as a place, there's that, and the other thing is 211. 211 is a number you could call anywhere in the country to get free help. Like I just did a video on shoveling your snow. Okay, you get your snow shoveled for free. By calling 211, right? I got 2.5 feet of snow. Where are you, in California or somewhere?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, okay, well, it's just as bad. Yeah, well, I'm I mean, it's heat. You're not going to see snow. 2.5 feet of snow, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have a lot of money or whatever. What are you going to do for 211? Well, 211 will show you a nonprofit or somebody to shovel that for you for free.
Right.
Who knows that? You want to start a business, call 211. They'll show you nonprofit organizations that are around the country or whatever that get grants to help you start your business for free.
Yeah. I think those, as you stated, Matt, those are two good places to start: 211 as well as your local library. Matt, your final words and how people can follow you.
Wow, I got something called grantsandcrowdfunding.com. And the best source, I think, is my YouTube channel, YouTube/Matthew Lesko 70. And there, I do a video a day. See, right here, I'm at my kitchen table. I'm going to do one after we close, and I'm going to do one how to get free diapers.
Yeah. A lot of the things that you talk about your videos, while it may be simplistic, really someone can really utilize it. Unfortunately,
not you yet. Huh?
not me. But when we look at the U.S., the new work week is no longer 40 hours. The majority of Americans are working 47 hours per week. Right. Less than 20% of Americans are happy with their jobs, and then almost half of Americans make less than $29,000 a year. So like the things you talk about, like free diapers or let's say free childcare or stuff like that. Like some of them would say, "Oh, I can afford that," but no, like what you're saying really can help
tens of millions of people. Need that stuff. Yeah,
for sure.
And that's the thing about it is, we bounce ideas off our friends and relatives and things like that. See, they don't know. They don't buy that stuff. If you have something in your heart to sell, that's what's great about crowdfunding. You could find a bigger audience to see if it really sells, because you don't. You only need 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever. And like you watch, NBC or CNBC or Fox or anything. I mean, if a couple million people watch that, that's a lot. And that's 300 million people. So
for sure, I agree, Matt. And again, every time I speak to you, is never a disappointment.
Right.
Matt, thanks for being our guest.
I'll send you that check in the morning. Thank you.